Shabbat Shalom. This week's Torah portion is Parashat Beha'alotkha, the third Torah portion in the book of Numbers. It is in many ways a Torah portion which is typical of the book of Numbers and also in the book of Deuteronomy, in that it has a whole bunch of different topics that at first glance don't seem to be really related to each other. For example, in the Torah portion this week, it begins with the discussion of the setting of the menorah, the lampstand that was to appear first in the tabernacle and then later on in the temple. It also talks about some of the duties of the priest, the Levi'im. And then there's a discussion of a plague that was a result of the children of Israel craving something to eat aside from manna. In the midst of all of these is a little section about Pesach Sheni. Pesach Sheni literally means the second Passover. What is the second Passover? The second Passover was an opportunity exactly 1 month after the first Passover on the 14th of Nisan, so this would be on the 14th of Iyar, for people who were unable to make the Passover sacrifice, the Paschal offering, which is represented by the shank bone on our Seder plates, to make that offering. This was something that was required of every single family, and a person who wasn't able to make the offering would be left out. And this could happen for a number of different reasons. They could have been on a journey, they could have been in mourning and therefore unable to make the sacrifice. And so the Torah gives them another opportunity. This is one of the things that I think is really special about Judaism. First of all, it recognizes that sometimes there are extenuating circumstances, and we have to, of course, have laws that guide us, but also understand that we have to be flexible. And I love the fact that this is right there in the text of the Torah. But it also tells us that our tradition is one of second chances. Just because you miss an opportunity one time doesn't mean that you've completely blown it. Of course, that's the very basis for the high holidays. We do it year after year after year. And hopefully this is of some comfort to us. As we take a look at everything that's going on in our nation and in the world right now, we realize that maybe there are things that we could do better or should have done better in the past. And our tradition tells us that we always have the opportunity to go back, to try again, to do a Pesach Sheni, as it were, to try to make ourselves better, to improve, and not be left with a permanent mark for a mistake that we might have made at some point in our lives. This week at Bethel, the Heights Synagogue, we observe the yahrzeit of Sarah Horwitz, Joseph H. Klein, Robert Sheaf Gooch, Charles J. Kitts, Leonard Silverman, Sadie Strayer, and Herman Brody. Wishing all of you a very safe, healthy Shabbat, and looking forward to seeing you, hopefully in the not too distant future, face to face. Shabbat Shalom.